Hey everybody, welcome to Happy Hour Live on Bruce Sports. Look who's back!
Yay!
Teaka's back! How are we doing, Teaka?
Good. I'm happy to be back.
I'm happy to have you back. It's been far too long. We had an onslaught of co-hosts in your absence, but it just wasn't the same not having you here.
I missed you too.
How was Florida?
It was awesome.
Good.
I
Did you do
enjoyed
anything
the
fun?
sun. Oh, I did a lot of fun stuff.
Did you go beach skiing?
I went to the beach, didn't see any beach skiers. I thought of you. I was like,
Okay.
I gotta look. I don't see any. But yeah, we did a lot of fun stuff. Pickleball is really big there, so we played some pickleball. My dad loves it, and we always have so much fun playing it. And he's really into tennis now, so we played some tennis.
I love tennis.
Went to see some gators.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you went to the Everglades then? Or where did you go to see the Gators?
I don't remember what it was called.
Okay, I think the Everglades. Did you go on an airboat ride?
No, but there were airboat rides there.
Okay.
We just went to walk around.
Of course. Did you hold the gator? Did you take the classic
I did.
baby gator?
I did. I have the picture.
Yes. Fantastic. Well, it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
Definitely missed
Good
you.
to be
And
back.
excited to have you back to finish off the week as well, too. Does it feel weird being back in the cold weather now, too? You're just kind of like, what do I do?
And I'm all messed up on the days. It feels like a Monday today, but it's a Wednesday.
I know. Today's
which I guess
Wednesday.
Is a good thing, but
It is. I think your week's almost done.
Yeah.
That's the best part
Halfway
about it.
through.
And you're not in school right now either?
spring break right now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So did you skip out early last week, or how did that work for you?
I don't have class on Fridays.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Your weekend starts early.
Yeah.
You're one of those people. Must be nice. Remember when my weekend started on a Thursday? Well, we've got some good stuff in store for you guys today. We're going to be joined in the second segment by Justin Bradford to talk about the NHL playoff race. We're going to check in about the MVP race, the rookie race, lots of races. It might even turn into a NASCAR segment based off of how many races we end up talking about, in all honesty. But some good stuff in store for you there. A quick reminder for all of you wonderful folks, too, to go check out our website, brewsportsnet.com. You can also go to our YouTube page, Brew Sports. And if you are more of a listener than a viewer, you can go to iTunes and download the podcast for whatever Brew Sports show you prefer. If you're a happy hour fan, download our show. If you're a Pick 6 NFL fan, go download that one. Soccer fans, to Upfront, numerous different shows you can go download. So go check all that out on iTunes. Just search for Brew Sports or search for your favorite Brew Sports show name. Time to hit what's on tap to get the show ready and rolling. Teaka, I'll give you the honors of telling us what's on tap since you haven't been able to do that in a couple of days. So what is on tap to start off the show?
Well, first of all, everyone's aware that Tom Brady's game-worn jersey disappeared.
Yes.
But
so
I
crazy.
I thought it was interesting, though, that they found, who they thought it was through media videos and not security cameras. So I don't know. Have you ever had anything stolen from you?
Probably like little things. I want to say, I did. I had all my football equipment stolen when I was a kid.
Oh my gosh.
It was at a weekend like round robin tournament sort of a
lot.
thing, and we all went to lunch and we were told to like leave all of our gear in our big bags, like just in a common space, and came back and all our gear was gone.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, was it another player? That
It wasn't. I mean, it was
something?
myself. Well, it was random things. Like my shoes were gone. I think like my helmet was gone, and a couple other random things were gone. And I was like, just take the whole thing if you're not gonna like. So I literally had to piece together a uniform to wear because I was the quarterback in 8th grade. I was the quarterback, and they're like, well, you gotta have to play. So people were like giving up things so I could get on the field. It was the weirdest
so weird
experience,
that
but
pieces
something that
of
will
it-
stick in my head because stuff got stolen, like brand new football shoes. It was really weird.
Gosh, I wonder. Did you ever find out who?
No. Like I said, it was like
it
was like an 8 or 12 team round robin thing, so people were there all over the place. So I don't know. I've always wondered that too in the mind of a thief. Like, sure, I've casually pawned a pint glass or something here and there, like from a bar, but I'm guilty of that. I will admit to that. But I'm not out there trying to steal hundreds of dollars of gear or trying to steal a painting from the Louvre, things like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been stolen from?
Not that I can think of right now. I mean, I probably have something small, but I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Can't think of something off the top of my head.
Have you ever stolen anything?
No.
No? You seem
maybe
to.
like when you say like a pine glass or something.
Something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. But you haven't like walked into a store and been like, I like that shirt.
No.
And like walked
I feel
out.
like maybe one time, I think it was one of my friends, I stole like a copper mug from Moscow Meals from a
mischievous.
Yeah.
But those are so good though. You have to
need
have
a
the copper
mug.
mug.
I know. So yeah, but I can't think of a time when someone stole something from me. That probably has happened, but can't think of a specific time.
Fair enough. Well, why do you ask if I've ever been stolen from? I feel like you have a reason for your madness, as you usually do.
Well, just because Tom Brady's jersey was stolen.
Did you hear where they found it? They found the jersey.
Where?
They found it in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, so it was an internationally credentialed media member that apparently, this wasn't the first time he stole. Usually if you get that hunger for stealing, you do it again. Apparently he stole Brady's jersey after the time the Patriots beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
That's what I thought.
And then also he stole this one. Apparently he was also stole stuff from Von Miller, from the Broncos, his helmet, his cleats, things that I just don't understand how they just go missing. How does the equipment manager or player not have a better idea? And I get it. You just won the Super Bowl. Greatest thing you can ever accomplish in your life.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me...
how do you go about, how do you like, oh, I'm going to go steal this huge thing that everyone's going to notice is gone.
Exactly.
Like
a jersey is a little bit easier to hide. But if you take a helmet,
still,
what are you going to do? Put it on your head and walk out? Be like, guys, check it out, I got a helmet. Like, what are you going to do with that?
And it's such an important piece of something, it's an important thing you need. So obviously, people are going to realize it shortly after. I mean, they should have realized that his jersey was, it's exciting time. I get it, but it's such an important thing.
So the big question around a lot of this has to center around the fact that the jersey, the singular jersey, the Super Bowl 51 jersey, is valued at $500,000. It's basically being reported as a felony. The thing that gets me in all of this is that the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, was a part of this to help return the jersey back to Tom Brady.
It's crazy.
Why are we using the FBI to find lost football jerseys? Shouldn't we be tracking terrorists or tracking potential bomb threats instead of trying to find back jerseys from a football game?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that the wrong use for the FBI?
I mean, if they're sitting around doing nothing else.
Well, I feel like if you're the FBI, you've got enough things to do,
exactly.
though.
You make a very good point.
Like I'm from the FBI director. I'm looking at my docket. I'm like, let's see. Tom Brady's jersey's missing, and there was a bombing in New York. We got to go after the Tom Brady jersey.
What?
No. It's like, no. Like,
maybe something that they think they can figure out really quickly and like, oh, this is nothing.
Exactly.
Maybe, but you make a very good point.
Still,
I didn't think about that.
When I saw that, I was like, the FBI. Okay, I was like,
wait,
the FBI? I was like, this is a jersey. Absolutely ridiculous, but also kind of par for the course for Tom Brady, though, too. I mean, he got the whole big Deflategate scandal that went around, and it's like, okay, well, to show how important this is, Tom, we're going to put the FBI, our best agents, on this to go to Mexico to find the jersey. Ludicrous, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a jersey. I get it. You can buy another jersey. They can make you another one. I get it. You only wear one jersey to play Super Bowl in, but it's just a jersey.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Move on.
Yes.
Not a fan. But whatever. What are you going to do, I guess, right?
I suppose.
Kind of crazy. On a lighter note, apparently the NBA has been very active in the community for a very long time. And you dug up a cool story about what they do with St. Jude as well, too.
Yeah, it was Hoops for St. Jude Week, I believe last week, March 12th through the 18th. And so NBA Cares got involved in it. The NBA family supported kids with cancer. So the coaches, players, and teams got involved, and they have had a 9-year partnership so far with St. Jude. So St. Jude's mission is to advance cures and prevent diseases through research and treatment, which I love this. St. Jude is an organization that I've been able to get involved with, but I loved that I saw this because I think it's great to get out there and volunteer.
I agree.
And especially such a the NBA, it looks so great that, they care and they're going out there. And the NBA Cares basically is a global community outreach initiative, which addresses social issues like education, youth, and health and wellness and stuff like that. So this is a perfect opportunity for them to reach out and spend a day.
That ultimately is what you want to do. I mean, like you said, not to cut you off, but like if how many times do you hear athletes getting in trouble and then you never really focus on the good?
Right.
And I think this is a prime example of that.
Yeah, and they're focusing on, raising money and funds in this way because, the community comes together and supports St. Jude. Families never have to receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, food because of the community and the support and donations.
One of the stats that I thought was absolutely fantastic about this is that due to just the general thing of what St. Jude has done, the cancer survival rate has gone from 20% since the hospital opened in 1962 to over 80%.
I saw that.
That's phenomenal.
I love that.
That right there is just like, all right, show's done. Like, that's the best thing you're going to hear from us all day kind of a thing. Like,
oh, definitely.
That's amazing.
It's awesome.
So huge props to them. You're seeing guys, though, that like Kevin Love, Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, Rick Carlisle. These guys are influential figures in the NBA as a whole, and to have them partner with St. Jude, I think, is phenomenal. It is. It really is. Speaking of the NBA, You worked for the Milwaukee Bucks as a dancer for a while. Did they ever have funny, crazy, weird promotional nights so that you just were kind of like, we're going to do what? Like it's superhero mac and cheese night? I don't know. I'm making stuff up
there
now.
I'm trying to think of a specific one, but there are definitely times when I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's a weird night, but okay, let's roll with it.
Sounds
and sometimes
good.
we would, create dances to go with the theme.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it got kind of interesting. But, yeah. Why do you ask?
Well, the reason I ask, and we already are going to have people that are going to be mad at us for talking about The Bachelor again, since it's already over. But
we're going to.
So it finds its way into the show. Okay, I had zero plans. I'm going to go on the record. I had zero plans to talk about The Bachelor today. I'm going to reference it with today. And then the Milwaukee Bucks decided to announce that they're going to have Bachelor Night this Friday night, where the Bachelor man himself, Nick, is going to be in the building. There's going to be red roses being given away. So you brought this upon yourself, Brew Sports fans, because blame the Milwaukee Bucks for us talking about The Bachelor again. I mean, The Bachelor is from Wisconsin, for those that did not know. Newsflash, if you never missed any of that in the last 3 or 4 times Nick has been trying to find love. But my question for you is that why are they trying to continue to fuel the fire here? Let Nick go away.
That's a great question. But honestly, I bet you that it will be such a big line there to see Nick. There's so many people that love him, but then there's also so many people like us that are like, okay, that's enough. But I guarantee you there's going to be, I wonder how many roses they're going to bring. I wonder how many people they're expecting. Well,
you're going to probably get a bunch of local florists. You're probably going to get all these different people that are going to try to get together and probably donate thousands of dollars worth of roses. But I've seen some crazy promotional nights. You see the superhero nights. You see the Make-A-Wish nights, which are the fun ones. You see the cartoon characters. But have you ever seen something like this though, where we're promoting and
I don't think
letting somebody that honestly needs to die not die?
I get it. He's from Wisconsin, but I wonder who started this, whose idea this was to have him come. Did he reach out and was like, can I be more involved and get my name out there more?
Why does he need to be out there more?
Right, but I feel like he's always looking for opportunities. Now he's on Dancing with the Stars. He was on how many seasons of The Bachelor?
3 too many. 4 too many. He was on Paradise and he was on 3 times.
So I'd like to know whose idea this was, how this happened.
Does this make you lose respect for the Milwaukee Bucks a little bit? If you're a Bucks fan, are you out there just going, why? We're in the middle of the playoff run. Why do we need to get distracted with having The Bachelor in the building?
I know, but it's been so promoted and everyone's been talking about it. So not only is it Nick, but it's also the Bucks that everyone's talking about. So I think it's smart. I get it.
And apparently, though, too, for $20, you'll be able to get an exclusive meet and greet with Nick. The first 5,000 women at the Bradley Center against the Hawks this Friday night will receive a free gift from the floral department at Pick and Save.
Which is going to be a rose, I bet.
I would be shocked if it wasn't. According to the news release, he'll make a special in-arena appearance throughout the evening, and he will be part of a special, they say in quotes, halftime presentation.
Oh.
What could you possibly have as a special halftime presentation if you're the Bachelor in the Bucks game? Nope, I don't get this. And of course, the article concludes with saying, just remember, he's taken. For now, we all saw after the final rose, he and Vanessa are still on the fence. Ladies, until he's officially married down the aisle, there's a chance with Nick. We all know that. It's just ridiculous. Classic Milwaukee. Oh, yeah. Classic. All right, let's move on to our soccer. Wow, I've been talking soccer a lot today. Let's move on to our NHL correspondent, Justin Bradford. I don't know. My day has just been... If you watched any of the Morning Brew or any of Halftime today, you know that I've already been in my seat longer and had these clothes on longer than I've had the entire day. If you haven't seen Halftime, go back. You'll understand. And I still have my Yes Drama shirt on for those of you that are Yes Drama fans from the Morning Brew. Yes Drama. Woo! Anyway, we're coming up with show-specific slogans, and apparently people are buying us T-shirts.
It's great. It's awesome. I love it.
I don't know. We have to figure out a slogan for our show, I guess.
Yes, drama. Yeah, I suppose.
Jamie's all about the drama. Anyway, Justin Bradford is here to talk with us, not about Yes Drama, not about The Bachelor, but about the NHL playoffs and about the NHL MVP race and all that fun stuff. But first and foremost, Justin, welcome back to Happy Hour today. How are we doing, sir?
Doing just fine here in the office. My phone is, I hope, on silent.
Hopefully, we'll find out. Didn't you? I love it, too, because one of the last times we talked to you, it's like, look, my phone literally rings like twice a year, and that happened to be the one time. And it was like, well, fantastic.
What are the odds?
Yeah, right? What are the odds? Well, first and foremost, I think the odds are falling back in the favor of the New York Rangers. Henrik Lundqvist is going to be returning to action this weekend. My big question after him being out for such a long time, is he going to still be as effective as he was before his injury, and will he being back ultimately be a good thing for the Rangers come towards the final tail end of the season?
Coming back, especially as a goaltender, coming back from a hip injury, it's good that he's taken his time. I don't think he's hit the ice since March 7th, so taking a little bit of time there. But Henrik Lundqvist is one of the leaders for the New York Rangers. Antti Raanta has done really well in his absence, and he's had a really good season too. 15 wins, 7 losses for Raanta, and he obviously doesn't want to get the plug pulled in him too quickly. So it's going to be really good just to ease Lundqvist back in there. But he's heart and soul for this New York Rangers team, and it's very important to have him on the ice and playing because obviously – his experience, his veteran experience, he's taken them to a Stanley Cup final before. He's been there. He knows what it's like. Raanta, obviously, a tremendous backup as well. So it's really important for that organization to have Lundqvist healthy as possible, but to also ease it in because if you know anything about goaltenders, the hip is a very important area.
I was just about to say, yeah, aside from probably your hands and your feet, your hip is probably the most important thing that you can have if you're a goaltender.
Absolutely. And for anyone that's followed the Nashville Predators or even just Pekka Rinne before, a few seasons ago, he had some hip injury problems where he re-aggravated it. And so it's one of those things you want to be very careful with trying to rush a goaltender back in from a hip injury. You want them to take their time, especially for the Rangers who want to try to make a deep run. They've made some moves in previous off seasons and some signings where they want to make a run, and you have to do that. Well, Henrik Lundqvist is getting a little bit older too. You got to take your time, make sure you ease him back into it because you don't want him to go down in the first round with re-aggravation of an injury.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Justin. Who do you think is going to win MVP? What player will win the Hart Memorial Trophy?
You know, it's a tough battle right now. Obviously, you have some players that are up there with Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Brad Marchand. I still, even though a lot of people will disagree, I still would give it to Sidney Crosby simply because of what he provides to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And if anyone saw the highlight goal last night, the one-handed goal where he's able to lift it, shooting the puck after splitting the defense with one hand, that shows why he's one of the best in the world. Connor McDavid has also done well. He's actually leading the points race with 82 points compared to Crosby's 81, and Marchand down with 80, and Patrick Kane with 80 as well. And Crosby's played less games. He's only played 66 games, so he's a higher point-per-game player than Connor McDavid or Brad Marchand. So it's a tough call right there. These last few games could really determine that because voters tend to go now based just on points alone, which I would disagree with in terms of voting. So, but Sidney Crosby would get my vote if I were a voting member.
Well, just to stay on Sidney Crosby for a brief moment here. I mean, 40 goals this season already, as you said, in fewer games than many of the other guys behind him. One other thing about Sidney Crosby, what have you made of this this illegal poke check that has been circulating that he was guilty of hitting somebody in the hockey pucks last night? He probably shouldn't have, to put it bluntly and nicely all at the same time. There's rumors that he might be suspended for a couple of games. Does a player like Sidney Crosby, kind of like the LeBron James or Tom Brady, does he kind of have this like immunity where he doesn't have to worry about like any serious repercussions for doing something that was obviously uncalled for?
I would say it depends on what the call is and what the action is. So in regards to, let's bring up another player name again, Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand does the same thing. He's going to have a lot of things rained down on him because of his history. He is an agitator. Sidney Crosby, even though he gets the termination of being a whiner sometimes, it's because he's one of the faces of the NHL and because he's a leader in the NHL. You won't get it rained down upon him as harsh. And a lot of the times, too, what you see in Crosby's game is he does things that he can hopefully get away with. He got caught doing it this time, and a lot of players do that. Good players are able to get away with some things because they know how not to get caught. So if it's deemed that he did do something illegal, that they determine that, then he should serve his sentence. Granted, he probably won't. It might just be a fine. But again, if it was Brad Marchand, he would get a lot worse of an outcome just because of the type of player that he is and his history.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about players, what rookie do you think will take the Calder Memorial Trophy?
Well, now this is a really tough one because there are a lot of good rookies this year. A lot of good rookies. You have Patrick Laine, Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, Matthew Tkachuk. I mean, it's really tough to choose because they're all doing so well. Laine is leading the points race with 60 points right now, and then Austin Matthews of Toronto has 57. Laine is one of those ones I don't think people expected him to do as well as he is. They expected him to do really well, but not to be beating Austin Matthews. Mitch Marner, I think I talked on my first appearance about how he's one of the most improved players since because they didn't expect him to have this type of season coming straight from junior hockey into the pros with Maple Leafs. So you look at three Toronto guys, including William Nylander in there, in the top 4 of rookie scoring, just shows the future for that franchise. So right now it's probably between Laine and Matthews, and it might be Austin Matthews that would win that, simply just because he's helping lead his team into the playoffs for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah, that's the big thing too, is that what kind of an impact are you having on the ice, not only as scoring goals, but helping affect the team as a whole. And as you mentioned, Austin Matthews has been an absolute brilliant player and a beautiful shining spot so far for his club this season. Kind of moving away from some of these other individual players, if there has been one storyline that avid hockey fans have been following, and honestly what the national media has kind of dropped the puck on, sorry, it's too easy, is the Columbus Blue Jackets. They are arguably one of the hottest teams right now going into the playoffs. Should people actually be paying attention to this team, or are they just kind of a flash in the pan like we see sometimes in sports where it's like, oh, they're good for a year, they're going to not even win, half the same amount of games they're going to win next year? Like, what kind of stock do you put in the Columbus Blue Jackets, not only this season, but kind of moving forward to the next 3 to 5 years?
I put a good bit of stock in the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the reason is because of the youth. And so they're good while also being young. And it was Seth Jones, the trade that Predators and the Blue Jackets had between the two, trading Ryan Johansson to Nashville and Seth Jones to Columbus, that I think really changed a lot for that organization. Seth Jones is a top pairing defenseman in Columbus. He was not ever going to get that in Nashville just because simply of who was ahead of him in the depth chart. And so he's been able to provide a lot from the blue line as well as scoring. And you also look at other guys in the team. Sergei Bobrovsky is having a stellar season as well, and John Tortorella is leading this team in the right direction. So there's a lot of youth in that team, and that's why I put some stock in the Blue Jackets and what they can maintain, because the youth will only get better and better. The biggest test for them is going to be in the playoffs. They do not have a good history in the playoffs, and not winning, at least in terms of games, and even in round one. So they'll gain a lot of experience, and since they've already secured their berth in the playoffs, they'll get a lot of experience in that first round, see how deep they can go. No matter how far they go, it's one of those things they have to build on for next season and not let a hangover happen going into the next season. But this Columbus Blue Jackets team, as long as things stay the same, they continue to build with that young core and with drafting, they could have a good 4 or 5 year window right now to go and try to win a cup.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about teams that aren't as hot. The Devils didn't make it to the Stanley Cup. What went wrong for them? What improvements do you think that they have to make?
Well, patience is going to be key for the New Jersey Devils. They're another one of those young teams. General Manager Ray Shero, coming in 2 seasons ago, knew it was a rebuilding process, and you could even see that with how they performed at the trade deadline, trading P.A. Parento to the Nashville Predators for a 6th-round pick. So there's not much right there in terms of they're just trying to get whatever they can to keep on building. But they do have a lot of good young talent. When they had that trade in the offseason for Taylor Hall for Edmonton, Taylor Hall's only 25, and he's going to continue to get better, and he's in a position to hopefully succeed in New Jersey. You also have a guy like Kyle Palmieri, Damon Severson. So there's a lot of good young core players in New Jersey. Fans are just going to have to be patient, and hopefully Shero can put it together. I know finishing second to last, or as they are or last place behind Detroit, is not the best place you want to be in, but it's one of those things that as long as you see the youth continuing to develop and continuing to provide an atmosphere, and then having games like they had against the New York Rangers where you see some of that fiery action from Miles Wood, where they still have a fire lit under them, even though they're not going to make the playoffs, they know they're still playing for something, and that's a lot of pride. That's what you want to see as a fan out of this team, and that's what they're providing right now. Still that fire in a rivalry game like that, and they can build into that and take that into next season.
Are there any other teams, Justin, before we let you run, that have just ultimately been a disappointment this season? I mean, it is kind of a changing of the guard. As we mentioned, years past, the Blue Jackets are not one of those teams that people are saying, well, we know the Blue Jackets are going to be in the playoffs every year. It was the Red Wings, it was the Blackhawks, the Wild. Have there been other underwhelming, underperforming teams this season?
Going to be a few from my end. I would say Tampa Bay, Florida, and Dallas would be the 3 that come to my mind, especially Tampa Bay with the way they've been the past few seasons. They were kind of sellers at the deadline, but still were making a little bit of a run. They're still only a few points out of the wild card spot in the East, even though they've sold Ben Bishop. They've sold a few other players, but they still have a lot of young talent. Now, granted, for them, the biggest part is the injury to Steven Stamkos has really hurt Tampa there. So that's why I don't want to call them an ultimate disappointment, because an injury to a star player can really affect how the season goes. Florida, even though they had a lot of momentum last season with Jaromir Jagr still performing the way he is and how young that team still is too, they should be better than 4th to last in the Eastern Conference. Dallas, with their offensive power that they have up front, should be doing a lot better. I mean, they won the West before. They were a powerhouse team last year. Just offensively, it's their goaltending that is atrocious, and that is the downfall of the Dallas Stars. So those are the three teams that first come to mind. We knew the downfall of Detroit was coming just based on their moves, how old they were getting, how they had Pavel Datsuk's gone, Zetterberg's getting older. They're just an older team with some youth in there that they're just going to be patient that the playoff run is ending and going into a new building next year. So those are the three, though, that would be at the top of my list.
All right, Justin, good stuff from you. Where can people find your work and follow you on social media for the latest hockey news?
Yeah, at Justin B. Bradford on Twitter and everywhere else is where you can find me.
Fantastic. I appreciate your time today, Justin. We'll talk to you soon, sir.
All right, thanks all.
No problem. There goes Justin Bradford here on Happy Hour on Bruce Sports. A couple of comments here on Facebook I want to address. Lisa wants to know if you're going to be attending Friday night when Nick is in town. I don't know. She knows you're a Bachelor fan, I'm assuming. She's just probably
not on my list of things to do.
Not on your list of things to do. Do you? I mean, you seem like you're already a busy gal anyway.
Yeah.
But like Friday night, you don't have your calendar paved up. You're like, gotta be there, gotta see Nick.
No, I gotta work early in the morning on Saturday, so I don't see that.
You don't have time for the hullabaloo of Nick.
I'd rather sleep, I think.
What does that say about you, Nick? This wonderful young lady to my left here would rather sleep than see your crazy old face.
Because I have to get up early.
How early is early?
Like 5.
Really? What time do you work?
To be to work at 6:30.
Good
so I have to leave
Lord.
at 6.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, I was waiting for you to be like 9.
No.
Be like, Teaka!
No.
Come on.
I'm not that ridiculous.
Okay. There we go. I have a
I get up
little
by
bit more
7
respect.
each day. I try to get up at 7.
Okay, that's good.
If I don't have to get up early, I usually get up at 7.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad for you. Yeah. Those 2 extra hours of
I don't like
sleep
to waste
that you-
my day.
Yeah. No, I guess you're like, let's go. I start my day at 5 every day just because I'm like,
Yeah,
let's,
that's a little early for
let's
me
go,
every day.
world. I don't have a choice. I have to be here.
know.
Otherwise, Bruce Sports just doesn't exist for the day. Tanner
need
also.
Bruce Sports.
We do. Everybody loves Bruce Sports. I love Bruce Sports. Everybody does. You have to love Bruce Sports. I tweeted it out today. I said, I love Bruce Sports. So there you go. It's officially official in that regard.
It's official because it's on Twitter.
It is. Therefore, social media, kind of like Teaka and I. Apparently, we're celebrating our 1-year friend anniversary today on Facebook.
We are?
Apparently.
Oh, I
was
didn't
like,
see that.
Really? Like I literally like our
Yeah.
producer David was next to me when I saw that. We both looked at each other and I was like,
That's weird.
I didn't think I've known her that long, but apparently you and I have been friends for a year on Facebook.
I wonder how.
Happy anniversary. It's gone
All
by so
right.
fast. They say you remember the first year the most. I don't remember 3/4 of it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's so funny that you saw that.
I know. Facebook is cheeky with that kind of stuff.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you very much. Tanner says entitlement in sports is only as bad as the players allow it. That's interesting. Entitlement in sports. Tanner is just jealous because he doesn't like Sidney Crosby. He also says, boo, he's a flopper. Get over it, Tanner. Just because Sidney Crosby's ruined your hopes and dreams numerous times as a Sabres fan and a Team USA fan doesn't mean you have to take your anguish out on a man like Sidney Crosby. I don't know. It's starting to get to be that time of the day, Teaka, where I start to get hungry and I start to think about dinner.
Ooh, yeah.
But I'm
what are you
not-
going to have for dinner tonight?
Well, I don't know what we're having for dinner officially, but sometimes what makes it really... Do you have a list of things that are like your go-to, like afternoon snacks? You're like, you don't want to have like a full meal, but you also don't want to have like, a granola bar. Like, I got to have...
Honestly,
what's your
it's just
in-between?
whatever's in my cupboard. But if I'm really, really hungry,
Yeah.
then I like just eat everything. Like I just eat a little bit of everything, so
A
it's
little bit
bad.
of
If I'm
everything.
just like getting
Yeah.
hungry and I have a snack, then
Are you more of a meal person or more of like a grazer? Like you just kind of
Grazer.
perpetually graze throughout the day?
grazer. It depends on what I'm doing. Like today, I was more of a meal person because I was really busy,
course.
going from place
Gotta
to place.
plan out your
But-
meals.
But if I'm just like sitting around or like at home doing work or something,
Okay.
I'm a grazer for sure.
Interesting. Well, the reason I ask is because for those of you that missed this, and I apparently missed this element of it as well, too. I apparently wrote an article for ESPN.com. Baxter Holmes, that's my alter ego. No, I'm just kidding. Baxter Holmes over at ESPN. I knew I liked this article for a reason. This guy's brilliant.
Same name.
Apparently,
person.
the NBA has a secret addiction. No, it's not hooking up with girls on Tinder. That's a whole other topic for another show. What it is, though, is that they are apparently in love with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Exactly.
I like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They're so plain.
They
and, like,
are. Do you have
kind
a
of
stupid,
stupid,
formula for
but-
how you prepare yours? Some people are toasters, some people are white bread, some people are no bread. Like how do you
I feel like
prepare yours?
no bread.
They do it like in
What?
like tortillas.
Oh,
Like
I've
you
done
put
that
like
before,
peanut butter and
but
jelly
only
and
if I
roll it
don't
up.
have bread. Like
okay,
if I don't,
that's
I
like the
wouldn't-
most
that's not my
like
go-to.
college thing. Like I have no money, give me tortillas.
You know what I do love though? I usually love white bread because
Okay.
that's the best, and then I put peanut butter on both sides. Well, if I'm making it for lunch, I put peanut butter on both sides so it doesn't get soggy, and then jelly in the middle.
Okay.
But otherwise, if I'm just making it quick, I'll just do one on each side. But what's really good is peanut butter and jelly with Ritz crackers.
Like in the sandwich, or like
No,
you
no,
take
no.
okay,
Just like Ritz crackers.
peanut butter and jelly on a Ritz
and you
cracker.
just take a knife, put a little peanut butter, put a little
That
jelly
seems like
on
a
it.
lot of work for Ritz crackers.
It's so good. You should try it.
I'm more of like a Ritz crackers
It's a
with
good
like
snack.
port wine cheese.
Cheese.
Kind of
Okay, I
thing.
like that
I'm more,
too,
I'm
but
more of that kind of thing.
You should
but
try it.
I'm
Step
gonna
out of your
have to.
comfort zone.
guess
It's
so.
really good. I promise. But I know
I believe
usually
you.
like
I don't. I'm
spreadable
not saying
cheese.
I don't believe you, but that's very
It's
interesting.
a good snack. That's like
It
different.
is. I do. I'm a peanut butter on one side and I'm a jelly on another side, and I put it together and then cut it down the middle. My wife will not eat any sort of sandwich if it's not cut down the middle.
Really?
That's just kind of how she is.
If I'm in a hurry or if I have already like snacked a lot, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just like put it on one piece and like flip it in half. But I do like it cut. If I make a full sandwich.
Interesting.
I agree with you on that.
Well, the science behind this is that the NBA and their players are literally obsessed with it. There's certain teams that have certain parameters that they have to have in order to eat it. According to this article, the Trailblazers offer 20 crustless versions of it. They have PB&J's pregame. 10 of them are toasted, a mandate ever since an opposing arena prepared them. That the Blazers guard Damian Lillard approved. So, of course, when the man of the team says this is how we're going to do it, we're going to do it. Apparently, the Milwaukee Bucks they have the most elaborate PB&J options. They have a pregame buffet that features smoothie, crunchy, and almond butter, an assortment of jams and jellies. I've never had almond butter. I don't think on purpose.
I think I've tried it before.
I have some sitting in my fridge at
opinion,
home. My wife has almond butter all the time, but I personally don't ever venture down that. We have the natural
Skippy.
oil
Natural.
Skippy business. I don't know, but the Bucks apparently though the team apparently eats about 10 to 20 peanut butter and jellies per game and travels with the ingredients that the rookies themselves have to prepare on the roads.
Ooh, they have to do it
So
themselves.
not only does your jump shot and free throw have to be on point, if your peanut butter and jelly game is struggling, you're not going to see the floor at all. I just find that funny, like Thon Maker, who's like 7'1", like in the locker room before a game, like buttering Giannis's peanut butter and jelly, being like, "Here you go, man!
Here's your
Like,
PB&J.
good game, go get out there, man!"
Well, I
like,
think even
that's fantastic. I would rather that than like the other harsh treatments that you hear in like the NFL, where guys get like tied to the goalposts and have to do laundry.
Yeah. Well, I think it was the Celtics too. They have like 20 pre-made, and they have some that have an S on it for strawberry,
Yes.
some that have a G on it for grape, and then some with C for crunchy.
Of course. Are you what we have to settle this debate? Crunchy peanut butter or like smooth, silky? Whatever?
I always get smooth, but I really like crunchy. I do. I used to hate it. My dad used to eat it. My dad used to eat
do
it,
crunchy peanut
and
butter.
I didn't like it, but I don't
There's
know.
too
Something
much.
changed. Oh, it's good.
I
You know
also
what I've
haven't had it in
actually
a couple
tried before?
years. What's that?
Carrots dipped in crunchy peanut butter.
See, that
It's
makes more
weird.
sense because
Does it?
carrots are crunchy. I
Okay,
don't
but
have
I
peanut
think
butter.
it's weird, but I've eaten it. But I think it's weird.
Carrot. If I mentally am already going with the crunchy thing, I feel like it's easier to accept the crunchiness.
I think that's weird.
Than if I'm having bread, which is notoriously soft.
I mean, I get where you're going with that.
It's a
but
mental thing for me. My mind, as many folks know, is not the most stable in the world. So you can understand. Our producer is nodding in favor, in agreement with me. He's worked with me long enough. He's like, get me out of here. But kind of a funny thing in this regards, apparently, that it's.
They agreed it's better than greasy concessions food. I saw that.
It
too.
is. It absolutely
and that's so
is.
true.
I think it's so funny. It's something so
simple.
So simple, so
You'd think
childish.
that they have like elaborate meals or like something that's very, I don't know, takes a while to make that they have made for them all the time.
Yes.
But just PB&J.
And there's numerous health benefits apparently for this as well too, according to this article,
Really?
that continues to help boost the overall production of what these guys do. These are performance-enhancing sandwiches that have spread all across the NBA. It's just peanut butter and jelly, but the nutrients that you get from certain, peanut butter and jelly and the sandwiches and all that fun business smushed together, apparently it's a game changer for athletes, and it helps give you the protein and all the other vitamins you need to go out and kick butt and shoot threes.
I was always told white bread isn't good for me, but
Well, yeah, why? And then when you said white bread, I was like, oh, why?
you don't like white bread?
No, I think it's terrible.
What? Well,
I'm a wheat bread kind of person. Why would you
No.
have white bread? White bread is like bleached nothingness. It's kind of like cotton candy. It's sugar-coated air.
I mean, I agree that it's terrible for you, but
That
I
just
think
seems
it
like
tastes
a poor.
better.
I thought we were
Soft
friends,
and-
Teaka.
I always choose wheat, so Yeah,
well, then why are you saying white bread?
Because
then?
it tastes better. I just never do it because I know it's bad for me. But
white bread tastes
soft.
better than wheat? I don't agree. That's for sure.
It's so much softer.
At least you have a friend.
Which means it's worse for you.
You have a friend in Barry. He says white bread is bleachy goodness.
Thank you, Barry.
That's strange. Bleachy goodness. I don't want to have anything that has bleachy goodness in it. I would rather
just don't
know.
Think about it. Just taste it.
Okay, it's kind of like say,
just
this
biting
hair,
into it. It's
yeah,
so soft. Or the Uncrustables. Is that what they're called?
Yes, I've never
You've
had.
Never
I've never
had
had an Uncrustable though.
They're soft.
It's
like
so I've seen the commercials look tantalizingly yummy.
Who chooses wheat bread because they like it better?
I do.
I think that's silly. Baxter.
You're silly. Speaking of eating, Eddie Lacy. Sorry, that was too easy of a segue. Eddie Lacy and food. All right, there you go. You're caught up. That's all we need to know. You apparently found some more interesting things out about Eddie Lacy and about his weight that Seattle is trying to handle. Something to do with like weigh-in and bonus. I don't get this.
So his deal with the Seahawks had included weight clauses. So he struggled with weight.
I wonder if this is like the first time that's ever been done.
I know.
I've never heard of any other but us. Apparently it's common. Okay, our producer's saying it's common apparently.
I wondered that too when I read it, but it seemed, I don't know. But apparently, I mean, he struggled with weight, but these clauses can make the situation worse, I think. I mean,
right.
It can be detrimental to your health because now he has to worry about, like the article said, players would sit in steam rooms and saunas and like run and take water weight pills and all this stuff days and hours and minutes before they had to do their weigh-in, which is really bad for you. I mean, you have to do it in a healthy way. You know, you got to work out, you have to eat healthy, but you can't just stop eating or quick try and run off. I mean, they always say don't exercise because you eat bad, you know?
Right. Isn't that always the biggest cop out though? I mean, that was as a young athlete, like that was the biggest thing. It's like, I just played 8 hours of a soccer tournament. Burger King sounds great right now. It's like, no, like you're going to wreck your body by doing that.
Yeah. And I can imagine, I mean, doing that takes away their strength and confuses their bodies even. I mean, but if you think about it, this has to be so, I mean, I'm sure this happens in other sports as well.
I'm sure they do. I guess you don't hear about it as much though. Like
don't you have to be in a certain weight class for that?
Well, yeah, powerlifting, UFC, MMA, those like weight specific things. But like you're not hearing about this in the NBA. Like if you're going to be a big man, like you need to be a big man. Like you don't. There's not too many. Right. But it's kind of the process of elimination anyway. You don't really hear a lot of 300-pound centers out there for the NBA who are 7'2" basically. Right. Like you're likely not going to make it to the NBA if you're that big.
Yeah, I mean, but what caught my eye about this article, I have done things where I, have, as a dancer, your fitness is a huge focus.
It is.
And so, when I was involved with the Milwaukee Bucks, that was one of the main things. I went into it thinking, I just have to do my thing, learn dances, go on the court,
smile,
perform, all the things I love to do.
Of course.
But there are so many more things to it. We had to practice and we had schedule workouts, team workouts.
Oh, interesting.
And we had weigh-ins. We did. So when I
really?
saw this,
You had weigh-ins as a dance team?
Mm-hmm. Because
interesting.
But if you think about it, I mean, it's a huge part of the job. I mean, fitness, you have to what we wear and everything.
I suppose so.
You have to stay in shape, but we had we had team workouts. We had weigh-ins in the beginning of our season. It was very intense.
Did that ever like offend a lot of people? Like if you're a dancer being like, wait, you need to weigh me? Like what do you mean? Like I weigh 120 pounds. What the heck?
Even though I went into it not knowing that's kind of what it was going to be like, I wasn't very surprised, I guess. But there were definitely dancers that were like, what? This is crazy, And so people would go the extra mile and do some of these things before we had weigh-ins. And it's just, it's not good for your health.
Apparently.
But that's why I saw this and I was like,
that's why
interesting.
I have maintained my 162 pounds since high school, basically. 162, maybe 167 if I'm soaking wet wearing like 3 layers of clothes.
Do you have like a system, like every day you work out at this time, you do this?
I work 12-hour days and drink coffee and drink shakes. And my wife is an incredible cook, so I eat healthy every time. The biggest meal I eat all day is dinner.
Yep.
But we always make enough that I can take it with me for lunch the next day as well too.
It's perfect.
So I get to eat 2 of my 3 meals. Yeah, I have like a nutritious shake in the morning on my way here, and I have coffee and snacks throughout the day. But then I have leftover yummy dinner from the night before, which is already healthy. And then I eat a full meal for dinner the night when I get home. So I sleep 7 hours a day, even though I, have a baby at home. Like he still sleeps through the night. Like
It's awesome.
There you go. That's my secret.
Perfect.
If you want to have this kind of a body, that's the secret to having this kind of a body. If you want to be 162.5 pounds for the last 10.5 years, that's the secret to it. I don't know.
Everyone's different.
It is. Everybody's different. It's totally fine. You be you.
Including Eddie Lacy.
Yes, exactly. Last thing I want to do has something to do with the type of a day that it is. So today is International Water Day.
Ooh.
And when you talk about water, there's really only one thing that you can do when you play.
Oh!
It almost worked. Is you do bottle flips. And I wanted to challenge you to a water bottle flipping challenge right now before we go. So we'll have to move ourselves just a slight bit here. I feel like we each get 3 throws.
Okay. Oh, boy.
And we'll see
I didn't get to practice.
who does the best. You can
better
stand
not
up.
Have practiced.
No, I haven't been practicing for the last 2 hours. I don't know.
Okay,
it's all
everyone.
about the throw. It's all about the throw. So we'll see here. Hang on. So move this. Dropping stuff. All right. Okay. All right. That's the first one. No big deal.
You get 3?
You get 3. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go. This is the 3rd time's the charm. Okay, so 0 for 3. So here we go. All right. Oh. I was thinking you might have had a walk-off there. Oh, all right. This could be it. Oh, she got it. Nice job. Way to go.
I'm impressed.
Cow. Well done. So there you go. So Teaka has won the inaugural International Water Bottle Flipping Challenge Day overall, basically.
What a chicken dinner.
Way to start your first show back. Just kicking butt and taking names, basically. Just like, all right, who's next? Who's next up? Like I did it one time. I was here earlier, and I just was like, I'm going to just start the show and just be like, boom, and just throw it. And I got it like the first time I hit it, I was like, anybody? And everyone's like, what happened? I'm like, fine. I'm done. I quit. To heck with all of you. Oh my gosh! Well, this has been a fun show. It's been great to have you back, Teaka. Thanks to everybody that commented as well too. Tanner says the bottle flops just like Baxter's broadcasting career. Okay, Tanner.
Whoa.
We'll have a conversation tomorrow. My agent will call your agent.
He's gonna be scared to come in tomorrow.
Jamie says, "I hope the covers fall off." Why are the other Daily Show hosts ganging up on us? You guys have your own shows to talk smack. You don't need to come on these shows to just derail this thing. We do enough of that on our own. I love you all, by the way. I appreciate all of you. Tanner's a challenge accepted. We'll have a Brews Sports Network water bottle flipping challenge, maybe.
Ooh.
Teaka's undefeated.
Yep.
I can't flip a bottle to save my life. It's what we do here on Brews Sports, I guess. So, wrapping things up, a special thanks to Justin Bradford, our NHL correspondent, for joining us on the program today. Special thanks to all of you wonderful people as well for tuning in. Great to have you back as well, Teaka. More excitement tomorrow as well as the NCAA tournament gets ready to kick back off again. We're going to be joined by Dom Garrett to talk deeply about what is taking place in the round of 32 games to watch. Cinderella, we still got to find her. I think her name is Xavier this year. We'll have to find out. But we'll talk to Dom Garrett tomorrow.
Can't wait.
So make sure you come back and tune in for Happy Hour from 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time. If you can't get enough about college basketball and you need it right now, come back in 15 minutes. At 5 o'clock Central Time, Barry Nelson is going to be back here for a college road trip with his special co-host for the evening, Armin Sarian. For those of you that are hashtag Team Armin, I'm sure you guys are just falling over yourselves in excitement. I'm excited. He's already in the studio. I want to go give him a hug as soon as we get off the air. It's going to be a lot of fun. So 5 to 6 p.m. Central right here on Brews Sports College Road Trip with Barry Nelson and Armin Sarian. Don't miss it. Check out our website, brewsportsnet.com, YouTube Brews Sports, and iTunes, of course, Brews Sports. Find your favorite show. They all have podcasts on there. Tell your friends as well, too. Go to our Facebook page here as well and hit the invite friends to like the page. Do that. Invite all your friends, and we'll continue to keep growing as well, too. She's Teaka. I'm Baxter. Thanks for watching Happy Hour. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Happy Hour. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.